So, it's Thanksgiving Day in Vancouver, in Canada, and here we are at St. Michael's Anglican Church in Vancouver, where we hold our annual Thanksgiving dinner for the what we prefer to call our special guests, people that are lonely, and seniors, and street people, and people with no relatives or friends that just need a place to come and have a good meal and fellowship with other people. I'm with Tori Phillips this morning, and who is the coordinator of our Helping Hands ministry at Rainbow Community Church. Just want to ask Tori a few questions. And Tori, how long have you been involved in this ministry?
I've been involved in this ministry about 3 years. As a coordinator, just this is my first year as a coordinator.
So this is your first Thanksgiving dinner
This
that
is the first
you've been stressed out on?
Oh yeah, I'm up there.
But what are you getting from it, like your involvement, besides stress?
Well, what you see behind me there is a lot of people that are involved, came straight from the community. A lot of them are Christian or non-Christian, and they just come because they want to help. They have a sense of need to help.
Were you here last year for the dinner?
Yes, I was here last year as well.
Yeah, I was here also, and I was actually at the bottom of the stairs letting so many people in at a time, and the difference that I saw on the faces when they arrived and when they left was quite amazing. The people were truly blessed, and understand that we passed out little gift bags at the end of the meal.
That's the thing too, we serve the people right at the table as if it was a five-star restaurant, and it obviously isn't a five-star restaurant, but what we're trying to do is treat them with respect, and there's always going to be one or two people on every table. So there's 6 people, and there'll be 1 or 2 people helping those 6 people during the whole meal. And then there's dessert, of course, pumpkin pie, whipped cream. And then when they get ready to leave, there's little gift bags for each one, which has toothpaste, toothbrush, bar soap, some apples and candy, some treats. And so they're really surprised when they get them. They don't expect to get that, and they don't expect to get that kind of treatment while they're here as well. They are our real special guests.
Yeah, what I noticed last year was the real excitement as they left. A lot of them had doggy bags with them with food.
Something for nothing.
Yeah, and they were really. I was blessed by just watching them. I'm sure you are with your involvement. How many volunteers do you have this year?
I haven't had a chance to count. Probably right here this morning. This is just for setup and everything else. We have probably 60 volunteers here right now, and we're probably going to have another 80 volunteers just for serving. And we'll hopefully break into 2 teams. Worst case, we'll put 2 people on each table, so that the people at the table will be overserved just like they are in a 5-star restaurant.
So it's much like a cruise ship then, really. They get that sort of attention, right?
Yep.
The setup is just absolutely beautiful. When I walked in the door, I thought it would be bare bones and just coming to help set the table up. But it looked like people were here early and really going at it.
Yeah, all the volunteers dug in real quick, and they decorated and tore things apart and fixed things up. Incredible, just the passion of the people when you give them something to actually focus on.
One of the reasons I wanted to do this was because I felt in my heart I wanted to encourage other small churches to get involved in this type of ministry, because they will be truly blessed, and plus it's a way of us going out and showing the face of Jesus to other people, isn't it?
And what do we have for our church numbers? About 60 to 80, maybe 100 tops in our church.
Right, yeah.
And we just network with different other churches, and we network is also on the internet looking for volunteers, ads in the paper. Didn't take much, and people come out of the woodwork to help you.
Let's talk a little bit about Rainbow Community Church as a church group and a church family. How long have you been involved with the church?
I've been there about 3 years now.
And what brought you to Rainbow?
I had a chance to be me. I'm transgendered, so a chance for me to worship as Tori, feeling more spiritually whole, rather than physically one person and spiritually another person. I'm much more connected to God this way than I ever was in the past.
I've attended, being gay myself, I've attended a lot of large churches, many churches over the years, and in many of them, probably 90%, I found homophobia was present in all of them, and so I wasn't comfortable. So I know how people feel being transgender, or somebody who is gay, or somebody who's different. And when they're being judged, it's difficult to feel at home at a church. Have you felt any of this at Rainbow Community Church? Or?
No, I felt total inclusion. It's the inclusion in everything. There's no exclusion at all. They value you for the person you are, which is how Jesus would value you as the person you are, truly valued.
And the pastor of Rainbow has been around quite a few years. I know before it was Rainbow, it used to be Liberty Community Church, and I know that Dylan was involved at that time, as well as I was. What are your feelings on the pastor? Is he straightforward and a good guy to be the shepherd of the flock, so to speak?
Yes, he has a dream, and it's not some kind of cult that's making us do all this stuff all the time. There is actually more of a passion in this church to teach, educate, and I've gone to a lot of different churches in my lifetime, but this is not a cult at all. This is real Christianity, and it's incredible.
One of the first things that I noticed after coming back, Bob and I, my husband Bob, we realized that it's a busy church. It's one of the first things we realized, that there are a lot of ministries, and also, as you say, a lot of teaching. I think there's at least three, and maybe 4 Bible studies per week. So there's a lot of church activity, and we're grounded in the Bible, really grounded in the Bible, and we don't hold up one person, because that would be idolatry. We hold up Jesus. That's the only one. So again, I go back to the question. You would recommend this type of ministry to other small churches who are looking to be Jesus' hands on earth, that they can help others. And in the Bible, Jesus said that you should help the people that are least able to help themselves. And I think that's what Rainbow Church is all about.
I would agree. I grew up in the church. I'm over 50 years old, and I grew up in the church, and I sat in those pews, and I helped out and did stuff. I did Bible studies. I did all those things. But what I've learned here spiritually at this church is so much more. So if you teach the people, if you lead the people, if you give them something to do, your church will grow.
Yeah, one of our favorite churches was a little church in Tucson, Arizona, called Cornerstone Christian Church, and actually the pastor came up here for Bob and my wedding, and she was a sweetheart, still is a sweetheart. But that church grew fast because I noticed they were really involved in missions. They took shoes across the border to Mexico and little things like that, and it really, God blessed that church, and I think God always blesses a group of people that go for outreach and help others, and not just sit in the pews and say, wow, am I beautiful today or what?
You have to get outside the walls to reach the people. If you stay inside the walls, they're not going to come in.
Exactly.
They have a hard enough time going in those church doors as it is, as non-Christians or Christians that have been hurt by the church.
Yeah.
So you really need to get outside the walls to get the people to start coming in. It's about relationship.
That's right. When Bob and I accepted the Lord, I remember that day so well in Phoenix, Arizona. We probably wouldn't have gone inside the church, except I remember the greeter that was there, a lady that had a beautiful broad smile and a warm hug, and when she hugged us, it got us to go through those doors. Otherwise we probably would have drove away, So I have a real heart for ushers and greeters, because they are the first people that on the front lines, and it's wonderful. But you said before we started that you wouldn't have anything to say, but I found that you do have something to say, and we've used up just under 10 minutes on this video, so I'm going to put it online on YouTube and on Facebook, and hopefully some people will be encouraged by it, and others will move their church towards outreach.
Yeah, that's the main thing, is building churches up, building the churches up in strength. We're not criticizing what you do in your church, but it does work, as you can see behind us. It does work what we've been doing here in this church.
Well, thank you so much, Tori.
Yeah.